Okay. All right, can you guys hear me now? Hear me on YouTube? Works now? Okay, fantastic. Sorry about that. Little technical difficulties. To start it up. So as I was saying, what we're looking for today is we're looking for price to see if we can get a rejection from previous daily high to go lower, or are we going to see price trade higher up into our higher time frame point of interest up here, right? And what this is if you could take a look at the drop, right, and I take the range high and the low, we want to see price retrace back into premium points of interest, right? And so the first one that we can see here is this 4-hour imbalance, okay? And what's good about this, or what's interesting about this imbalance here, is that if we go to the daily chart, all right, you'll notice that we actually, on the close of yesterday, we created a daily imbalance, right? And so what we want to see now is for price to trade up into this daily imbalance here and then see a reaction away from this imbalance, right? Now, we don't know where in this imbalance it's going to react, okay? But if we look at the midpoint, is right here, and just above the midpoint here is that 30K mark, okay? So I would like to see price kind of react anywhere in this region, below 30K, right? The midpoint here, somewhere above from this point to this point here, right? We've got this swing low here that we can mitigate, but we also have the high that we can just, sweep and take out. So I want to see this reaction from this point of interest here. This is going to be our higher time frame point of interest, step 1 of our checklist, right? Step 2 is going to be that liquidity sweep. So the liquidity sweep could be the previous daily high, which we're seeing happen right now, right? We're seeing that sweep of the previous daily high and the reaction. Okay, but for us to get a valid reaction that we want to see on the 15-minute here is the closure below these bullish candles, right? And giving us that bearish change of character, which the indicator is showing us, right? And then getting that confirmation. So I want the candle to close. I mean, they've got 10 minutes left, right? This candle could close bearish like this and give us that confirmation, which would then lead me to taking shorts, okay? Or at the end of the 15 minutes, this could come all the way back up here and not give us the change of character, and then I'd be more inclined for price to go higher, right? Especially if we close back above previous daily high at any point, right? If we close back above the high here, then that doesn't look like a sweep to me, right? We should come back up if that's a sweep. So I want to see price confirm the sweep by closing below, right? And then best case scenario will be to retest the change of character, retest the order block, and stay under that high that we swept, right? Now the sweep doesn't look very convincing to me, actually. It's just a very tiny sweep above, so I don't know if that's going to be a sweep or not. But if it is, then we should see a pretty strong reaction. So this big bearish candle closing like that would have been a good close, right? But like I said, there's still 10 minutes left on this candle, and this could still come all the way back up. It could still, it could not close underneath these candles here, which would make it more bullish or still bullish. Okay. Good morning, YouTube. Hello, Marco and Decoding My Life. Welcome back to the stream. Always a pleasure. All right. So, and let's see, look at how this is pulling back. Now, again, 8 minutes, right? Still a lot of time that the price could kind of like fiddle around with this here. So we certainly could wait and see what price is going to do. Still, we got a nice divergence though after sweeping out the initial lows. Let me see where actually I don't think the indicator has finished. All right, there we go. So there was our New York lows, right? The lows here. We swept those out. We've got a closure above with an inversion here, right? And if we get that change of character above, and like I said, close above previous daily high, then I'm going to assume the price did the sweep and we're going to go higher, right? And then we could reach up to that level that we're looking for up here. 30K, or it doesn't have to be exactly 30K, or I'd like to see price stay underneath 30K, right? So anywhere inside of this imbalance, this 4-hour imbalance, this rectangle here, right, below the 50% level, this just happens to be a high right here, right? So we can look at this as potentially a point of interest. So what is this? 29,950, right? And this also happens to be a 15-minute imbalance right here, just above that level. So right around that 30K mark is if we can get that to trade into that, that would be fantastic. So what that means is that if we do get a bullish confirmation, we have a lot of room to go up there too, right? So we could look for, again, more bullish setups to take us up there. Zane, afternoon. Good to see you, buddy. Glad to have you on the stream, as always. All right, so let's stay patient here. We're going to wait for some confirmations. We'll wait for this candle to close here. And we'll see what kind of reaction we get to these lows, right? So as you can see here, like we're still bullish, right? Making higher highs, higher lows. We don't see any kind of, you know, really bearish confirmation after taking this high. And like I said, that high there was, you know, was a sweep, but wasn't very convincing to me. So let's see what the next candle does here. Right, these are 15-minute candles. They're very consolidated, very short, you know, kind of wicky candles here. So there really isn't a whole lot that I like from this structure, and there really isn't too much I want to see from this. I'd need to see like a really aggressive sweep, or you know, some kind of imbalance or displacement, up or down. Because right now this doesn't look like anything that is tradable. All right. You guys are not hearing music, right? Let me see. Hopefully this music still works. All right. Is the music coming through? Yes, okay, great. Not too loud. Music, the volume's still okay? Okay. Excellent. All right, so another 4 or 5 minutes to go. Coming back down below the lows again. So this is a little short-lived here. So we need that change of character from it to be bullish, right? And that just happens to be the previous daily high as well. So closing back above that would make that more so bullish. Now this could still react to the imbalance here. We've got a bullish imbalance that we created on this little push up that we just made. So we'll see how this reacts here. And let's see if we get a closure through or back above. All right, we did close back above and slowly working our way back up here. So let's see if this does make its way higher. Technically we are making a lower high here, right, to make a lower low, but if this fails and we trade above, We get a change of character higher. Then we'll be back bullish. There we go. It's a nice pushback up there. All right, let's see if we get that closure above. So we got about 2 minutes to go, and let's see if we get a closure above. Look at this 15-minute candle shape, right? The difference. Big difference is how it was as it started. Pushing up. All right, so now we're going above previous daily high. So there, that's sweep basically. If this was a sweep, then we shouldn't see, you know, price come back above, right? So this tells me that we want to go higher. There is an imbalance right up here, but the one that I'm looking for is this one up here. Okay, so we'll see how it reacts to this imbalance. We could see a reaction there, and then we see the closure back through, right? So it doesn't have to get all the way up here, but certainly could. And we've got about 45 seconds to go on the candle closure. So this candle should close bullish. Looks like it's going to. I mean, if nothing drastically changes in the next 20 seconds, right? We'll see a nice bullish close. We have a sweep out of the lows. Okay, and now we have a closure above the previous daily high, right? Which tells me that we want to go higher. So I'll be looking for price to retest the previous daily high, retest the order blocks down here, or these sweeps down here, right? There's the change of character. Could look for a retest back into the previous daily high to go higher from. How big of a stop would that be? That's a pretty big stop, I think. If we go down to this low here, it'd be 100, right? And if we just trail the 50 level here, it'd be about 85, 90 points. And that's if we get a retracement, right? And how big of a retracement. So let's see. I would also like to see price come back in to sweep an internal if we can. But if we do make it all the way back up to here, that would be plenty of run for us. Would we say 950, like around here, right? If it does make it all the way up there, this would still be a valid trade. It's 1 to 1.5 with a stop below here, taking this entry without a retest. I want to see a retest of at least the change of character though. And then this would be a lot bigger kind of stop. But let's see, back to like 750, 740. Right, trade back into one of these imbalances here, maybe back into this where we swept this consolidation, and then a pop back up. All right, the 15-minute candle that closed here, if we're looking for a 50% retrace, that would be all the way back to this 700 level, back into this imbalance here, this pocket. I don't necessarily need to see it come all the way back down that far. But I don't really want to be chasing price here either, even though it looks like he's just going away, taking a nice run away from us. Unfortunately. Good afternoon, Eve. Welcome to the stream. Good to have you as always. All right, nothing we can do right now. Just sit on our hands, wait for the retracement, wait for another opportunity. If you do enter now, I mean, it's going to be a huge stop, and it's probably going to be some drawdown you're going to sit through getting up this high. So would not recommend it. And at this point right now, we're not even at 1-to-1, so definitely not. Right? So probably wait for another formation of a low that we can sweep and a retest of this level if we can. Right? I don't want to see a straight drop back to this level. That would not be good. But we are trading into that 15-minute imbalance just above us right now, right here, this order block. Okay, so there is a possibility here that we're going to get a reaction from this OB lower, right? So we've got the imbalance in the OB right here. We're trading into that now. And if we close outside of it, that's the retracement that we want, but that could also be a reversal because this could keep going down and then close back under this previous daily high, which we don't want, right? So what we want is we want to see a reaction away from this level here that retests the previous daily high level here and stays above it at some point. Now that could chop around back and forth and do a whole bunch of stuff before it actually happens, right? And that's to be expected here, you know, one day prior to CPI. So hold off and just wait here. We missed a good opportunity to long, but there wasn't really an entry that we could have taken that matched our criteria here because we wanted to see an internal sweep, which we didn't get here. It was a retest of this imbalance here, and then it just kind of went off. We could have taken it on the change of character here, but kind of went a little bit too quickly. This would have been a big stop as well, 120 point stop for that low, and like I said, putting it underneath here, still about 100 points. I think we would have been close to take profit, but that at this point here. But yeah, unfortunately, was not meant to be today, at least not this setup. So we'll have to wait for the next one. Sometimes, even if it's, you know, it's 1 minute candles, so these things move pretty quickly. And, you know, sometimes if you hesitate for just 1 or 2 minutes, price is gone, and that's just the way that the cookie crumbles sometimes. All right, so this is the reaction that we're looking for. See if we close outside of it, close back below 800. And see a retracement to the previous daily high here, and let's see if we can get a retest of this level. We haven't had a retest yet, even on the single candle retest. So sometimes what happens is we'll get a break, and then price will retest on the very next candle and then take off, right? We haven't had that yet here, actually. So it's possible that we can see price come back and retest the level here on this move. It's also possible that we can see a price come down straight through it, right? So we got to be a little bit patient here. What I think is probably going to happen is we'll see price come back through, but if we see it come through and start to consolidate here, then we can look for like an internal sweep, another internal sweep, and then a shift back up like that. Okay, what I don't want to see is a straight close through of the New York low level that we swept and retested, right? So if we get a close back through this level here, that is a no-no, because we'll likely get something like this, right? And then we can look for the short for that as well if that sets up. But I don't know if that's something that will happen this session if that's the case. One or the other. We'll look for one or the other. Hello, Mr. Pips. How you doing? Okay, so there's the reaction out of the imbalance slash OB. We'll get a closure underneath the 800 here, right, as to be expected. So now we have our swing high and our swing low, right? And what we'll look for is a sweep of an internal low, which at this point is going to be this low. And if we get a sweep this far down, it seems logical that we'd sweep this one as well, but not always the case. So what I'd like to see is for price to create something for us here, like this, for example, right? And then we sweep it, and then we go above, and then we go to our target. All right, so this is exactly the type of movement I didn't want to see, right? The price to go straight up and then come right back down equally quickly. But it all comes down to what we do right here in this consolidation, right? Because now we're coming back through, we're going to get a closure through previous daily high, right? Didn't want to see that happen, but that's fine as long as we come back above, or we create a structure below that we sweep and then we come back above, right? That's what still makes it bullish. If not, we'll see price go through this whole up move here, right, which will give us a change of character, and then we can look for the short if it presents itself. Okay, coming back to this imbalance here and this order block. See how we react to that. And so here would be like a perfect time for it to create a low that we can sweep later and come back up. But if not, we'll see price go through, close through, change of character, and then we'll look for potential shorts. right, 700 level and the OB at the bottom here. This looks like this one. Okay, we're coming up on 10 o'clock. We got about a minute and a half, right? And look at how this 15-minute candle is closing, right? It's a wick, it's a big wick with a big bearish body, right? So if this wasn't the sweep, this looks like a lot more like a sweep to me, right? With the reaction to, we got a higher time frame point of interest, which is the order block here. We got a sweep of a level, right? And now we have the closure. So now the confirmation would be for price to trade below the up close candles, right? Which is going to be below here. And that looks like it's going to be the case unless it does a really nasty pullback here in the last minute. And that looks more like a sweep to me, right? This looks more like manipulation now to the upside, and now we get a sweep and we get closure. The closure below here would be a confirmation. However, this looks a lot more convincing to me. Closing back below that near low level that we swept to go all the way up there from. Okay, 30 seconds. Let's see how this closes. We're also going to get a 4-hour close as well, which is going to be kind of like a doji-ish candle. We did get a sweep above these highs here. Okay, but we didn't quite reach the imbalance I wanted to. But yeah, that's a nice close there, right? Also closing below those lows. And let's see, get a, just like it's right on the borderline. Okay, so we're looking for price to continue lower at this point here. 50% retracement of this range is going to be right around this level right here where this imbalance is. So we'll be optimistic for a price to get up there. Let's see that 4-hour line right here that I just drew. That's the sweep of the 4-hour high, right? So look at that sweep above. Like we had consolidation, 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 right? Sweep above, sweep below, change of character. So this is looking more so to be on the bearish side, but we want to see price come up and sweep an internal in the premium, right? And we need to see a swing low form now to confirm the range. And a small H4 imbalance below. Right here. Right, so we have a target, right? This will be the immediate target to reach to. And that's also the order block, right? And the imbalance overlap. So we have some nice room to run below 550, 560. Okay, and that 4-hour just closed as like a pin bar. Okay, so let's see if we get a little run up here. And so now that that's the sweep, I don't want to see price go back above this previous daily high level anymore, right? 750 is my top upper limit. So if I'm looking for shorts, right, I want price to come up and manipulate around this area here, take out an internal high, or maybe even retest it again and come back, but there's an imbalance right here, right? So I want to see come back to 750, sweep it, react, and then give us a nice move down. There's an internal high right here. That's it, looks like. Yep, price already ran through, right? So that's the sweep that we're looking for to be confirmed a sweep, right? And that confirmed by trading below and giving us a change of character. So now we want to see confirmation. Now we have the swing low. So we just formed the swing low there. And then we have This is our low, that's our high, right? And then we have, you know, potentially this as the imbalance that we're trading back into in the premium. I would love to see an internal high formed before that. Okay, let's see if we get a push up into this level here. No audio on your side? Oh, okay. Check your settings. I don't know if that's working. Okay. Okay, as long as it's working. See if we get a run through this imbalance. Yep, so see if we get a bearish imbalance run through here. It looks like we will on this closure, right? So we have this, our sweep confirmed now with the change of character. Now this is our range. I would have liked to see price come up to retest this imbalance here in the premium, sweep out an internal high or along the way here, but let's see what this candle does. If we get an imbalance inverted here on this closure, then we might not see it come back up here. The chat has frozen. Hopefully that's just you, Tummy. I think it's okay for everyone else, right? I think I changed something on my indicator. I'm not getting any divergence signals. Check your settings and check the symbols that you're using for the divergences. Same symbols. Pivot strength I have is 2. I don't know if you have it higher than that. That could be the issue. Okay, sound is good on YouTube as well. Chat's good, sounds good, visual's good. All right. Coincidentally, this is the you know, the bullish point POI that we're looking for the sweep. But we need to see a change of character if that's going to be the case, and that hasn't happened. Technically, hasn't happened yet, but that would be the change of character for the bulls to go higher. And we did get imbalance inversion off of that, just no change of character here. And you can see that the bears are winning. Yeah, definitely. A rally into this imbalance would be perfect, right? Sweep out some of these internal highs that we make and then a big drop. Don't want to see closure back below the pre-market low level here, right? Because we swept those and traded away from them. If we're going to go a little bit higher here, we do have a little divergence. I don't know if that's really going to help, but could mean that we're more bearish though than bullish, and that NQ is just lagging, hasn't really gone down yet, right? Nope, going lower. If we close below 50, that divergence will, yep, will disappear. And that was just NQ lagging, right? YM taking the lead. NQ's lagging here, right? And not going lower just yet, but it will if we get that closure through. It looks like we will. Still holding. All right, so we're still holding that 50 line pretty strong. That last area that we swept here. This move, right? Maybe a little glimmer of hope from the bulls here. Nothing really confirmed unless we get some sort of change of character, which we don't see at all. To me, this is just retesting the bearish OBs and continuing lower. Right, OB here, retest, go lower, OB here, retest, go lower, OB here, retest, go lower. Yeah, this is definitely not where you want to get involved, where we're going up and down like this inside of a tiny, tiny range. So I want a breakout of either direction, right? A sweep of the lows and come back, or a change of character, right? One of those two things should happen. Lows here are about to be taken, looks like. And we'll come back down to this 600 level here, sweep out these lows into this structure. Okay, and there it is. Come down to 600. Yeah, there we go. And down we go. Okay, back to 580. It's another 80 level retest. See if we can't get a nice pop up from here. Or 550 it looks like we're going down to. Big candle drop, right? So it's pretty good indication of the direction now. One-sided. Right, maybe we'll get a retracement back up to this imbalance here and order block. Maybe we'll get a retest entry if we can. Okay, this range is no longer valid. We do have the confirmation now. That's a nice sweep of the level. All right, see if we can come back and give us a retest entry. Let's see what the 15 looks like here. We got about 2 minutes to go until this next 15-minute close. That looks like a pretty strong indication of what we're doing. We're going to reach the 4-hour imbalance. Well, we already did. Let's see if we get a retest of that. Melting right through it. That's what it looks like. Wow, what a drop. Damn. Let's watch this 500 level retest here. Just looking for some kind of low to form, right? Right now we're just seeing a drop. I mean, we could get a continuation from the OBs that are forming inside the range here. If this is going to just continually drop, it looks like it might. There is an imbalance right here that we could have retested and come back into. This order block right here at the 4-hour imbalance would be a good one as well to come back to. It looks like price is just kind of falling away from us here, so we'd like to see some kind of significant retracement and then sweep of an internal and then another drop. So probably gonna have to wait a little bit. We were waiting anyways, so it's not that big of a deal. See how big a drop this was. From here to this low, we already dropped about 400 points. So, but yeah, that is a pretty good drop. That was exactly what we wanted to see happen, just not in the exact area that we wanted to see happen. Right here was the area that I wanted to target. And like I said, I didn't know if it was going to go up to 30K because it could have happened before that. And so this was it, right? This was the order block and the imbalance just before with the sweep of the previous daily high. And so this is just the drop, right? So if this is going to continue, obviously we'll get a retracement. We'll do something similar like this again, right? And if it doesn't come to us here in this session, then, you know, that's the way it is. But there certainly will be another opportunity for us to get in here once it retraces and it starts to collect the liquidity it needs to then sweep, right, to go back in the direction. Because this can't just keep dropping like this without some kind of pullback. looks like 500 is going to give us a little bounce back. See if we get a close back above it. That certainly doesn't look like it's going to close above it. But there's an imbalance right here. So we could see a retest of the imbalance. Interesting that the day opens here. So we did move up quite a bit from the day open here today. And we did get a sweep of previous days, or actually the opening low, right? Which gave us this big move higher. And now we're coming all the way back down here to the day open price. So I would expect a retest of this to go lower here, actually. So maybe 420 retest or 450 retest. Retest the imbalance, stay below the imbalance, below the 50, and then continue from there. That's what I would like to see anyway. Whether we get it or not is another matter entirely. So let's see how this closes. If we close back above 500 here, then we should see it go to maybe 450, at least to 420, or retest the day open. But if we get a closure back below, then this level, then we'll probably just see price go down. $380 level is what we're testing now. All right, 380 to pop up if we go up. And if not, we go down. All right, so we closed below, right? So we should go down from here. This should be the high. Oh, actually, we didn't close below. Actually, there we go. I was gonna say we didn't close below here, but see if we close below here in this candle. And nope, still not closing below. Or sorry, 10 seconds. All right, close the below, but let's see what this next candle does. I think 420 would be a good target to see a drop from if we can get to back to 420. Sweep out this high into the imbalance and then roll over. Just carried on. Okay, right here is where we want to see the internal sweep. If we get a sweep and day open price retests, right, to come down from. This is way down in the range though, so this could be the low, the bottom that we're forming right now, right? So we don't want to see, you know, this be the reversal just yet. Oh, look at that. There we go. There's 450. Big closure above, right? Big push at the lows here after a big drop. So we're looking at probably a decent sized retracement back up from here. So let's see. We got a change of character. We can play this this change of character move here. It's kind of it's low enough risk, I think. So day open price retest. All right, the low here about 80-90 points, and see if we get down back to 420. If not, this is going to be good enough, I think. 450 level. 450 would still make it about 100 points. Stop. 15 seconds. So we're going to take it right in this close here at 450 or around 450, 443. All right, about 450. Okay, is the entry. Our stop is about 100 points. All right, we're going to see if we get this move back up to the. I'm not going to go for a full 100. I think I'll probably just run back to this imbalance here. 60, 70 points would be good. Let's see if we get it. Okay, the entry was about 450. Yes, we are in this one. Entry was 450. We're targeting 70 points here, the next imbalance. Okay, I'm not going to be targeting the full one-to-one just yet. If we get to the imbalance with no issues, no retracements, nothing like that, then we set the break even, we can hold for the rest. But yeah, this looks good. Just trading off of that momentum. We're at 50 points right now. Okay, let's see how this closes. If we close with a full bullish body above the 500 here, we'll set the break even, and then we can hold for the rest. All right, so right there, good. All right, let's see if we get to the 70 points. Okay, good movement so far. Nice candle, good retracement. See if this keeps going. All right, don't want it to come back too far here. 480 is about as far as I'd like to go back down, if it does. Okay, and all we're looking for is about, like, what is this, 520, right? 520 is about where we want it to go. That's about good enough. Boom. All right, so now we're at break even. You could take profit here. I mean, if it's up to you, it's 70 points. Okay, I mean, that's fantastic. I would, I'm not gonna argue about 70 points. You can keep going for the next target if this is gonna keep going. I feel like we're gonna get a retracement here because it's the imbalance though. So it's up to you guys. I mean, you could take profit like right now, get out of this trade with 70 points, be happy with it. Or if you want to keep riding the momentum, just know that there's probably going to be a pullback in here. That's going to happen at this level. So, but 70 points, good enough for me, and a great way to end this session here with a nice little win. So hope you guys got in there. Even if it was like 30, 40, 50 points, not 70, it's still good as well. All right, don't discount it because you didn't get it on the right entry, or you didn't get, if you got in a little bit late and still got like 50 points, I mean, that's fantastic. But there's the retracement that I figured would come, right? Because we're getting into an imbalance, we're taking out some highs, we're at a psych level, and then the break even would have been hit there. So very, very good. All right, you're out. Very happy. Good job decoding my life. I am happy for you. I'm happy to hear that. All right, and a bunch of you on the Discord got in as well. I am overjoyed. All right, so this is probably going to continue up with a little consolidation here, right? We've got the order block back here, the change of character back here, that we still retest, right? That was a nice little momentum trade that we just took there. Piggybacking off of that big drop that I knew was going to springboard back into the range, right? Just didn't know how far, but with NASDAQ, you don't really need a lot, 50 points on NASDAQ is like one candle. It's like a 1 minute candle sometimes, right? So yeah, 70 points on a session like this, exactly. I agree. Okay, so yesterday, if you guys caught yesterday's trade as well, then you're up a lot this week already, and it's only Tuesday, right? We got CPI tomorrow, which is going to bring some uncertainty. Okay, this move might be priced in already, and we might see nothing happen on CPI. which is I think might be the case. Or if this really does close, you know, in this region here, we might see a similar move tomorrow where we trade back up into this like imbalance that we create, and then we get another big drop, right, or something like that. So yeah, CPI tomorrow, right? That should be interesting. Caleb, I caught an $80 scalp down early to pass my loose. Yes, fantastic. Another pass, another funded account. Fantastic. All right, good job, Caleb. All right, Zane, appreciate it. Randy as well. Awesome job today. All right, so about 45 seconds to this candle close. Looks like we're going to close with a nice big 15-minute imbalance, right? And next thing I would expect price to do if we get this to close like this, which it looks like it will, is we'll come back into this 15-minute imbalance, and then we'll come down to take out these lows next. All right, that's if you're trading the rest of the session, which I will not be. But yeah, that's what I would expect to happen next. Or consolidation, or we'll just come back into this range and we'll consolidate here, right? And then we'll save this for CPI tomorrow, right? Okay. Good job, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. If you have any questions at all, drop them in the comments below. If you guys don't have the checklist, make sure you download that. It's free. Make sure you guys know what we're doing, what we're looking for when we take our setups, all right? But yeah, we'll come back and we'll do it again tomorrow, and hopefully we'll get a nice CPI trade out of it. Awesome. Take care, guys.